Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. The recipients of the Order of Nova Scotia. Mrs. Viola Robinson, Chair, Order of Nova Scotia Advisory Council. The Honourable Maureen MacDonald, Minister of Finance, representing the Premier of Nova Scotia. His Honour, Brigadier General the Honourable J.J. Grant, Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia, and Chancellor of the Order of Nova Scotia, and Her Honour, Joan Grant. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to open the ceremony with the singing of the Royal Anthem. Please be seated. Good morning. On behalf of their Honours, Ann Minister MacDonald, I would like to welcome you to the investiture of the 2012 recipients of the Order of Nova Scotia. This is the first time since 2004 that the ceremony has been held at Government House. It is an honor to be here and to act as Master of Ceremonies for the investiture. I will begin the ceremony by reading a citation for each recipient, who will then be invested into the Order of Nova Scotia by His Honour and receive a citation from the Minister. There are 2 posthumous investitures where the medals will be received in a closed box by a member of the late recipient's family. Each recipient will then sign the official book of records, which becomes archival. I would now call on Silver Donald Cameron to come forward. Silver Donald Cameron is a person of extraordinary talent, with accomplishments in broadcasting, education, publishing, and environmentalism. Dr. Cameron has made an outstanding contribution to the culture of the province, including helping Cape Bretoners to appreciate their unique culture and their heritage. While serving as Dean at Cape Breton University, Dr. Cameron shared his deep understanding of the need to integrate liberal arts and cultural studies with professional, vocational, and scientific studies, becoming a dedicated advocate of Cape Breton University's unique Bachelor of Arts Community Studies program, and working to develop relationships with complementary programs, both within the institution and elsewhere. As a resident of Almadam, Dr. Cameron contributed greatly to the rural economic revival movement. He played a pivotal role in the founding of Talil, Almadam's not-for-profit community television station. The young people who absorb technical and communication skills at Tilial are the enduring beneficiaries of the project. Dr. Cameron is a noted author of both fiction and nonfiction. He was the first ever writer in residence both at the former College of Cape Breton and the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. He is also a popular author of novels, short stories, and plays. His work has won numerous awards, including an ACTRA Award, an Atlantic Provinces Booksellers Award, a Mercury Award for Excellence in Business Communications, and a Gemini Award for Best Short Film. His recent writings display a growing awareness of the importance of protecting and preserving the environmental integrity of our coastal areas. Silver Donald Cameron is a dedicated and highly respected advocate for Nova Scotia. He continues to promote an environmentally stable and sustainable future for our province. Your Honour, I present Silver Donald Cameron for investiture into the Order of Nova Scotia. Dr. Graham Dennis. Graham Dennis started selling newspapers at the age of 5, working his way up to publisher and the family business, the Halifax Herald Limited. He became a Canadian legend, both as publisher of one of the last true Canadian dailies and as Canada's longest-serving newspaper publisher. Although he described himself as just a humble peddler of newspapers, Dr. Dennis was an astute businessman who maintained his independence from national chains. This independence allowed him to keep the sacred trust between his newspaper and the people of the province. Dr. Dennis built the Chronicle Herald into the voice of Nova Scotia by maintaining full-time reporters in many communities. He passionately championed the causes of Nova Scotia without ever seeking the limelight, motivated only by a personal desire to make Nova Scotia a better place. Dr. Dennis led a life devoted to service. He was a philanthropist who cared deeply about humanity. If an event or an organization strengthened the province, he went out of his way to offer his full support, often anonymously. The full extent of his generosity to a wide variety of causes, charities, and events will never be fully known. Graham Dennis was a devoted family man, an outstanding businessman, a passionate promoter of our communities, and a generous supporter of worthy causes. He was a role model, a mentor, and an outstanding Nova Scotian. He leaves behind a legacy of responsible journalism and a life devoted to only one goal: to make Nova Scotia a better place for Nova Scotians. Your Honour, I present to you for posthumous investiture into the Order of Nova Scotia, the late Graham Dennis. I would now call on Mrs. Gay Dennis to come forward to receive the medal on behalf of her husband. I would now call on Alexa McDonough to come forward. Alexa McDonough's commitment to social activism and community involvement has spanned her lifetime. At the age of 14, with her youth colleagues, she organized a day camp for the children of Africville, bringing public attention to the living conditions in Africville and setting her on her life's path as a passionate voice for human rights and social advocacy. In the mid-1970s, as Social Action Chair at the YWCA, Dr. McDonough obtained grants to retrain women in non-traditional areas, such as plumbing, painting, and wiring. Training women in these roles was virtually unheard of in 1976, but Dr. McDonough was an advocate for gender equality, committed to offering women the widest possible range of employment opportunities. By the time Alexa McDonough entered politics in 1979, she was recognized for her commitment to social issues, human rights, and community action. She was elected leader of the New Democratic Party of Nova Scotia in 1980, becoming the first woman to lead a major recognized party in Canada. During her tenure as a member of the legislature, she was at times the only woman in the House of Assembly. In 1995, she became leader of the New Democratic Party of Canada, a role she held for 8 years. After retiring from political office, Dr. McDonough served as interim president of Mount St. Vincent University, where she hosted a World Peace Conference bringing together international leaders in peace education, women's activism, and nuclear disarmament. Alexa McDonough has received national and international recognition for her work on human rights and global poverty. She continues to work for a better community and a better world. She is a committed volunteer and an inspiring role model. Your Honor, I present Alexa McDonough for investiture into the Order of Nova Scotia. Dr. Robert James Morgan. The late Dr. Robert Morgan devoted over 50 years to the preservation and sharing of the history of Nova Scotia, particularly that of Cape Breton Island. Dr. Morgan came to Sydney in 1962 to teach history at what was then Xavier Junior College. He developed a passion for the local community and worked tirelessly to explain the history of Cape Breton, to help preserve its heritage, and to promote a future for Cape Breton, rooted in respect for its many cultures and anchored upon local community economic development. Dr. Morgan made an outstanding contribution to the archival community, the heritage sector, and the scholarly field of local history. He served with distinction as senior historian in the development of the Fortress of Louisbourg National Historic Park, as a founder of the Old Society of Sydney, as archivist of the Beaton Institute, and as a professor of history at Cape Breton University, where he helped to develop the Cape Breton Studies, the Cultural Studies, and the Museum Studies program. Dr. Morgan was known for his willingness to support even the smallest project around the island. Through the force of his integrity, his good humor, and passion for local history, he left behind people with a renewed interest in preserving our culture and our heritage. In his retirement, Dr. Morgan remained active at Cape Breton University and throughout the island, offering history courses for seniors and special interest groups. His greatest legacy to the province is the 2-volume Rise Again, the story of Cape Breton Island, the first full-scale history of Cape Breton in nearly 150 years. Your Honor, I present to you for posthumous investiture into the Order of Nova Scotia, the late James Morgan. I would now call on Mr. Herbert Morgan to come forward to receive the medal on behalf of his brother. I would now call on Bridglal Pachai to come forward. Bridglal Pachai has distinguished himself as an author, professor, administrator, mentor, and human rights advocate, carrying out these roles with dignity, compassion, and single-minded firmness. Dr. Pachai was born and raised in the most difficult years of apartheid South Africa. He relentlessly pursued education, becoming the first Black in South Africa to earn a doctorate in history. He immigrated to Nova Scotia with his family in 1975, with frequent visits to Africa to teach and provide leadership in education. In 2000, he became a member of the Order of Canada. Dr. Pachai has served as a director of the International Education Centre at St. Mary's University and taught at St. Mary's, Dalhousie, and Mount St. Vincent universities. He headed the Black Cultural Centre during its formative years and served as the executive director of the Human Rights Commission, where he advocated for the application of the legislation protecting his fellow citizens from discrimination. Dr. Pachai has become a noted authority on African Nova Scotian history. His published works include Blacks in the Maritimes, Historic Black Nova Scotia, and the Nova Scotia Black Experience Through the Centuries. He also published 2 autobiographical works, a novel based on his African experiences, and most recently, the philosophical Dialogue Between Head and Heart, a testimony on the value of education. Bridglal Pachai has made outstanding contributions to educational institutions in Nova Scotia and Africa. He has furthered human rights causes both at home and throughout the world. He continues to distinguish himself as a scholar, a humanitarian, and a tireless advocate for social justice. Your Honor, I present Bridglal Pachai for investiture into the Order of Nova Scotia. May I ask the recipients to please rise? Ladies and gentlemen, the recipients of the 2012 Order of Nova Scotia. It is now my privilege to call upon His Honour, Brigadier General the Honourable J.J. Grant, Lieutenant Governor of Nova Scotia and Chancellor of the Order of Nova Scotia, for remarks. Your Honour.
Chief Justice MacDonald, Minister MacDonald, and Minister Pereira, former Lieutenant Governors Abraham and Freeman, Mr. McNeil, Mayor Savage, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As the representative of the Queen in our province and as Chancellor of the Order of Nova Scotia, it is a pleasure to welcome you today to Government House for this investiture. This ballroom has witnessed hundreds of investitures over the 207-year history of the room, a place of great events, and those being recognized today join not only the distinguished membership of the Order of Canada, but they become a significant part of the history of our province, joining an extensive lineage of proud Nova Scotians who have been recognized by the Crown. From the family of Private Bernard Croke, whose family was presented with the Victoria Cross in 1918 in this room, to the first person to be invested with the Order of Canada here in Nova Scotia and not in Ottawa, Frank H. Sobey was recognized here in 1985. Silver Donald Cameron, the late Graham Dennis, Alexa McDonough, the late Robert James Morgan, and Bridglal Pachai all epitomize what is best about our province and why we are fortunate to live in a place that fosters the sort of talent and contribution that this distinguished group has been able to render. A unique aspect of our honors system is that nominations tend to be made at the grassroots level. That is, that regular citizens nominate those who they deem to be worthy of recognition. And then an arm's-length, nonpartisan panel makes recommendations on who should be recognized. It's a publicly driven process that relies upon citizen engagement and participation. The Order is the highest honor that our province can bestow upon a citizen. It exemplifies what it means to be an outstanding contributor to the life and the being of our province. Honors in Canada are a tangible way in which the Crown, on behalf of the people, recognizes those who strive to build bridges, contribute to social well-being, and to ultimately make our province and country a better place to live. The members of the Order serve as exemplars for their fellow Nova Scotians, demonstrating the sorts of achievement and contributions that can be aspired to. While it is just over a decade ago that the Order of Nova Scotia was established, making it one of our country's most recently created honors, the comparative youth does not diminish the prestige and the significance of the distinction bestowed in the form of the stylized Mayflower decorated with the provincial shield and a royal crown. All 5 of the newest members of the Order demonstrated an extraordinary capacity to share and to give. Nova Scotia is grateful to have been the beneficiary of such generosity and such a diverse array of contributions. On behalf of all Nova Scotians, please accept our heartfelt thanks for all that you have contributed. Your achievement is a central element of our collective success as a province. You truly embody the spirit of the Order by seeking excellence. Thank you again.
Thank you, Your Honour. I would now call on the Honourable Maureen MacDonald, Minister of Finance, representing the Premier of Nova Scotia, for remarks. Minister.
Good morning, Your Honour and distinguished guests. First, I want to extend congratulations on behalf of the Premier to the recipients and to tell you how disappointed he was that he was unable to be here with you today. He told me when he asked me if I would substitute for him that this is one of the most joyous occasions that he gets to do as Premier, and as we all know, Premiers sometimes could use a little joy in their lives. So it's very much my pleasure to be here today to honor this year's recipients. His misfortune at not being here is definitely my honor and my privilege. For over a decade, we have recognized the extraordinary achievements and contributions of individuals by investing them into the Order. Each member of the Order stands as a shining example of the difference one person can make. Today's recipients are no different. They have all taken different paths through a wide variety of careers and good works. Some were born here, and some came here later in life and made Nova Scotia their home. They lived in communities across the province, working in different fields and pursuing many different interests. But their paths, though different, led them to the same destination. They have touched the lives of so many, and Nova Scotia is a better province because of them. Dr. Cameron, you are a man of many talents. Throughout your career, you have made contributions in the fields of broadcasting, education, publishing, and environmentalism. Your writings have not only given us award-winning novels, short stories, and plays, but it has also allowed you to help teach the next generation of writers. Dr. Graham Dennis started in the newspaper business at a young age, and throughout his long career, he made an indelible mark on journalism and how the news is reported. He also cared deeply about his community, his province, and all Nova Scotians. And he leaves behind a legacy of responsible journalism, and both his professional and personal life truly made life better for Nova Scotians each and every day. Dr. McDonough, Alexa, you have been committed to social activism and community involvement for most of your life. You began as a teenager improving the lives of children from Africville and later helping women train for non-traditional jobs in the trades. In 1980, you were a pioneer, the first woman in Canada to lead a recognized party, the Nova Scotia New Democratic Party, and you went on to lead the Federal Party for 8 years. After leaving Canadian politics, you worked at the international level, advocating for human rights, economic justice, nuclear disarmament. Your efforts have rightfully earned national and international recognition. And a personal note, I consider you my absolute biggest mentor. Thank you. Dr. Robert Morgan devoted over 50 years to preserving and sharing the history of Cape Breton Island. He dedicated himself to bringing the stories of the island to future generations, ensuring they were not forgotten. Through his career as an educator and his work as a historian and author, he has helped preserve our province's culture and history for future generations. And Dr. Pachai, you have distinguished yourself as an author, professor, administrator, mentor, and human rights advocate. Your life story, in and of itself, serves as an inspiration. You have helped break down barriers, both in South Africa and here in Nova Scotia, through your teaching, writing, and work with the community. Nova Scotia is very fortunate to be able to learn from your writings and benefit from your dedication to helping others reach their full potential. To all of our honored recipients, through your work, your activism, your talent, your creativity, and most of all, your dedication to our province and to others, to all Nova Scotians, you have truly earned your investiture in the Order. You have touched so many lives and shown the people of Nova Scotia the great things that can be achieved. Your legacies continue to have positive and lasting impact on our communities. You have truly made our province a stronger, better place to live. And thank you and congratulations on your well-recognized contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I would now call on Mrs. Viola Robinson, Chair, Order of Nova Scotia Advisory Council, for remarks. Viola?
Good morning, Your Honors, Minister MacDonald, honored recipients, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to celebrate with us today. The Order of Nova Scotia was established to honor our most outstanding citizens. Those invested into the Order have made lasting and enduring contributions to our communities through their careers, their philanthropy, and their dedication to improving the lives of their fellow Nova Scotians. As chair of the Advisory Council for the Order of Nova Scotia, I have the pleasure of seeing the nominations each year. It is a privilege to read and hear about the good works and incredible accomplishments of our fellow Nova Scotians. This year's recipients are no different. They exemplify all of the attributes representing those that are invested into the Order. They have worked in their communities, preserving Nova Scotia's culture and heritage. They have helped so many of their fellow Nova Scotians achieve their full potential, benefiting all those around them. They have made Nova Scotia a better place, and we are grateful to them. As you can imagine, it wasn't easy selecting the recipients. The Council agreed that the recipients here today have made significant and valuable contributions to our province. All are deserving of our highest honor to help formally recognize their lasting legacies. I encourage all Nova Scotians to continue to nominate and renominate people for the Order of Nova Scotia. Our participation in nominating for the Order of Nova Scotia continues to be among the highest in the country, a testament to the high level of citizenship and engagement in our province. Thank you to the recipients and their families for coming today and for the great work that they have done and continue to do. To the members of the Advisory Council who continue to work tirelessly during the nomination and selection process, I also say a personal and heartfelt thank you. And to everyone here today who came to celebrate this wonderful occasion, thank you.
Thank you very much, Viola. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. May I ask you to please rise for the singing of the national anthem. Please remain standing for the departure of their honours and Minister MacDonald. I would now ask the recipients to proceed to the morning room. I would now ask Mrs. Robinson and the members of the Order of Nova Scotia Advisory Council to proceed to the morning room.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. On behalf of their honours, I would like to invite you to attend the reception that will be taking place in the dining room shortly. There you will have the opportunity to meet with the recently invested members of the Order of Nova Scotia and your colleagues. At the reception, you will be entertained by Diane Torbert on piano and Shimon Walt on cello. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your return to Government House at some point in the future. Thank you and good morning.